All right, so I'm probably gonna butcher the quote, but let's just try. So Sean Ryan made an appearance on Tucker Carlson lately, or very very recently, and he said something very very interesting. Now, like I said, I don't remember the quote verbatim, so I'm just gonna paraphrase. But basically, this is what he said. Let me just see if I can find the quote right here. Yeah, so the quote is, "Look at me, look who I'm having lunch with, and then you watch your kids grow old, and you realize, shit, what am I missing? You look so cool, you sound important." I know this quote is all over the place, but basically what he's saying is, or what he probably meant to say, how I understand this quote is, there's a lot of people who neglect the more important things in life. Now, the more important things in life are, that's a very, very subjective thing. I personally think, and a lot of people think, and a lot of people are going to realize eventually, that having kids and watching your kids grow old, or watching your kids grow and grow up to adults, and then pass the proverbial torch from your generation to their generation is one of life's greatest joys. But if you don't have any kids, if you don't get any kids, if you don't form a family, you don't know what that feels like because you're so obsessed with having lunch with the right sort of people. Listen, when I go into my phone and I open up any sort of social media app and I scroll through the news feed, all I see are stories, or I mean, it depends on your algorithm, of course, but there's a lot of people who use their social media and allow themselves to be depicted and filmed with other important people. And they're having lunch together, and they're dressed nicely, and they're wearing expensive watches. They're driving around in expensive cars that they probably can't afford because they've rented them, smoking cigars, and it's all about this superficial life. It's all about looking at me, how important I am. Look at how cool I'm dressed up. Look at what I'm doing here. And then eventually that's all your life. It's not about settling down. And this is why not too famous, but two half famous, I guess, podcast hosts come to mind. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna name them, of course, because I'm going to speak of their lives in a rather unflattering way. But let's just say that their lives isn't worth living, especially if you want children and if you want to see them grow old, and if you want to settle down, then their lives is not at all worth living because it's all about being, oh, it's all about socializing and going hitting the club and making moves, picking up girls, banging girls, going for easy lays, and then wash, rinse, repeat, and that's your whole life instead of settling down. These are the proverbial male crazy cat ladies, and one of them actually has cats. if I'm not mistaken. Listen, these two podcast hosts, they're both in their mid to late 40s. They've yet to settle down. I don't think they have any committed long-term relationships. I don't think they have any children either. I think they're going to be these childless male crazy cat ladies who realized that, oh shit, my time is gone here because I didn't take advantage of the time when I was younger because I was too busy doing whatever. I was too busy sitting down having lunch with important people, talking shit, pretending that I was important instead of doing what actually matters. Now, once again, that's a subjective thing. Some people might actually regard living this lavish lifestyle their end goal. And so they're going to continue and be sort of like a Hugh Hefner until they're 100 years old, which is fine. I mean, I think that's a terrible life to live. I think think eventually they're gonna have so many regrets. And so the point that I'm making up in all of this isn't necessarily to attack one or the other. It's just to suggest that both of these lifestyles, the settling down comes with consequences, or settling down in terms of having a family comes with consequences because now you have somebody else to think about. You have mouths to feed, except yourself, in addition to yourself. And living, but at the very least, you have the next generation ready. You can pass the proverbial torch. But if you don't settle down and it's just you and you're having fun and whatever, then you're gonna end up like I've said before, as Paulie from the character from The Sopranos, who realized that shit, I didn't have anyone. I'm old. My mom's like 95. She's about to pass away. She's the only one who I have left. I don't have anybody else left. So hopefully that inspires people to settle down and commit to something serious. We shall see. And use their persuasion for something that actually sticks. This is like targeting the long-term customers versus the one-time buyers. The one-time buyers are those cheap town skanks who've been run through 100 times. The long-term customers, that's the wife material you should be looking for. Think about that. If you want to learn more about sales persuasion and business, get subscribed to my ad publisher list. The link to do so is below the episode description wherever you're watching or listening to this. And I'll see you there.